Hi friends, Jennifer here with Jen Open Hearts, and I just wanted to make this short little video talking about tuning into the body. This is something that I've learned a lot about in my life, and I'm still learning, but I feel like it's good when we can tune into these practices to just really know how we're feeling, how we're showing up, and easy ways that we can implement these practices, right? Because otherwise, we can move really fast and we can forget, right? Oh, I have to wake up. Okay, my routine, bada bing, bada boom. Like I'm going to do the thing. And then all of a sudden it's 5 o'clock and you're like, wow, my breathing is super shallow and I felt stressed today. And oh my gosh, so anxious. So I feel like the body is this beautiful wisdom temple and it's always speaking to us. It always has something to say. It's always in communication with us. The issue is that we're not always listening and we're not tuning our ears. And the ears don't just have to be the physical ears, but like our inner ear, our inner knowing, our inner understanding of what our inner landscape is like, right? Because otherwise we lose track of things. We lose track of who we are and how we feel. But if we just take conscious moments throughout the day, and I feel like this can be really beneficial, like when we first wake up, like just understanding like what is my first thought when I wake up? How do I feel? Am I excited to greet the day, or am I like, ugh, like I don't want to move forward? Oh, I don't want to get out of bed. And sometimes we cannot want to get out of bed because we're enjoying resting, right? So just knowing the difference between those things. And so I feel like clarity comes when, again, when we listen. And I feel like to listen, we have to know, right? So we have to, or at least what I've found to work is really tuning in with my day. Like, what did I expect from my day? You know, did I do it? Was I able to do it? Was it too much for me? So I feel like we all have this inner knowing of like, what's a priority for myself, you know? And so I think it's all related, right? Like I'm tangentially talking away from the body for now, but it's like we're using the body to maneuver through space. So how do we listen to what the body wants to do in a day? And I feel like there's core foundational truths that we can connect with. And so the first one, right, we talked about going to sleep and waking up. Like, what's the first thought that we have, right? Like, is it good? Is it like, wow, I'm so I'm so grateful to greet the day today, or I'm looking forward to my life? And what does that really look like? And can you do that? Or do you reach for the phone right away, right? Like there's so many different options. There's literally infinite options. And so it's like, how do we incept our time with meaningful things that get us to where we need to be? And so there's many different ways and moments that we can tune in with this vessel. And so, when we first wake up, what does our ideal day look like? How do we move? How do we get out of bed? Do we make the bed? Do we drink the water when we first wake up? You know, do we notice the thoughts? Do we write them down? Do we practice mindfulness? Like we have so many different choices where we can tune into these different practices that really help us align with remembering who we are and where we're going. And I feel like it literally is a daily practice. So it's like if we're not listening to ourselves, we're going to feel out of harmony. And when we're out of harmony, we're going to feel constriction. We're going to feel closed off. We're going to feel tight. And our posture might even change, right? Like it might get sunk in because it doesn't feel available to push out towards the world, right? Not pushing out in a forceful way, but like having resilience to be in the world. And the world is already its own thing. So it's like remembering that we have sovereignty over our bodies and that the body really does affect how we feel. So I would encourage you, if you can, definitely noticing that first thought when you wake up. And then secondly, having your morning routine or ritual, however you want to talk about it or think about it, and implementing those simple things like the foundational aspects of drinking water, right? Like you were sleeping, you lost a lot of water as you were breathing all night, which we don't think about. You went to the bathroom, so it's like the body needs that first. And so it'll probably feel better if we give it what it needs. And then it's like, sitting with yourself and tuning into your body, creating a small container of maybe just a few minutes of like hand on heart, hand on belly, and just really being present with what do you notice in your body and about your body. Are you experiencing tension or stress? Is there big things going on in your life? And for most people, most of the time, there probably is something, because that's what's expected, right? So if it's like, oh, wow, I am going through a lot. Okay, let me tune in with my body. And then we get to practice things like breath awareness, like how am I breathing? Okay, yes, I notice that there's anxiety. I notice that there's some stress or tension. And so if that's an awareness point, how do we interrupt our day, incept our day with things that create softness, right? That create ease. And it doesn't have to be an hour, 2 hours. It can literally be a few minutes, and you can let yourself sink into yourself. And even if it's just the morning, tuning in with the body. Okay, I'm breathing. What do I need today? You can talk to your body. It's going to talk back. You just have to have the right ears to listen. So it's like, oh, wow, my body's showing me that it's breathing shallow. Okay. It's like, how can I introduce things that create expansion instead of contraction? Can I maybe do some like heart openers, or like some cat cows, seated cat cows? Can I do some gentle yoga? Can I even hug myself and squeeze my arms, right? Can I show myself that I feel safe, right? I feel like that's the biggest journey that most of us are on, is like creating safety in the body. And again, it starts with the body. So if we create these habits of just doing a little bit of a pattern interrupt, right? Again, doesn't have to be long. It can be for the morning coffee or cacao, whatever you're drinking. And maybe you need to write about it first. Like, I'm noticing in my body shortness of breath, tight chest. I'm noticing slumped. I don't know how else to describe it, but I'm noticing tension, like I'm like this, and that doesn't feel good. So it's like, what's the harmonious counterpart that you can introduce if you notice a certain thing in your reality, right? Like if it's this, then I can bring in the opposite, to bring in, to soothe, to soften. And a lot of these things can be self practices, right? We can do humming, we can do chanting, we can do singing, we can play, we can dance. And it's all just listening, like deep listening. And in order to listen, again, we have to get quiet. And so there's many things that are disrupting our attention, which is our greatest asset, our awareness. And if we're too busy involving ourselves in the worlds of others, which, yes, it's fun to look upon, but if we don't tune into ourselves, we can't say, oh, wow, like, no wonder I feel crazy and like out of sorts. It's because I haven't taken care of myself. So it's an initiation and it's a practice. And I'm not an expert, but I feel like when we create those pattern interrupts, we are showing our body, our physical body, that we love ourselves. And that in itself is building up consistency, right? If, like, say I have my days in a row, a week, and I don't do anything, I don't listen to my body, I'm just going on autopilot. At the end of that week, I'm probably going to feel stressed out. I might, oh my gosh, I need coffee so I can feel like normal, or I'm going to need alcohol so I can calm down, or I'm going to need XYZ so I can have something, and I don't know why, but it's like, what's the opposite of that? The opposite of that is a different kind of week, which we can curate, we can create, and we could be like, wow, okay, day one, let me tune in the morning, let me tune in after lunch, and let me tune in just before I go to bed. Let me minimize the distraction so I can actually listen to number one, which is you, which is me, right? Whoever you are, and just listen. If I'm noticing that anxiety, how, again, do I counterbalance that? What's the medicine, the opposite medicine that I need? If there's anxiousness, I need space, right? I need deeper breaths. I need more yin, more slow movement, maybe more deeper stretches, more, maybe middle of the day hypnosis or something like that. Or I need to call a friend who gets it, who can just be a listening ear. Or I just need to do one of my hobbies that I love, go bird watching. And again, like the touch, like incorporating like the self-care and just showing the body that you love the body. Because I feel like then it sends different chemical signatures that show you that you feel good, right? Because that, again, the opposite scenario is like a wild brain, a wild horse that's going crazy and it's not being tamed. But if we take the time to tame it, then we're kind of rising against the odds, and we all have that capacity. And that's what I think is the most beautiful part about being human, is that it's your own experiment. And so if I do X, I know I might feel Y, right? It's like the law of cause and effect. Like, what's going to happen? My hair. Um, if I do these pattern interrupts for days on end, I'm going to start to feel better. And I'm speaking from my own personal experience, right? Like, we might look upon someone, oh, they got it figured out, they have a job, they have this, they have that. But, we're all going through different things internally. And so I noticed for myself that when I did these little interruptions, this midday hypnosis, this nighttime routine, this sometimes I forgot morning routine, right? Like, not perfect, but there's still tiny pattern interrupts that existed. And so because of that, I felt, oh, I'm so grounded now. Like, I feel it and it feels good, right? But then you forget, right? Stuff comes up, big things happen in your life, and you're like, like we can all get shaken very easily. And so we have to really build that practice of listening to the body, tuning into the body, making sure that we're fulfilling its needs. And coming back to the mind too, like what's the quality of the thoughts? What are, again, that first thought that you have in the morning is setting up your entire day. So it's like, how are you speaking to yourself throughout the day? Can you shift that narrative? Can you change the script? Because it all affects how you feel towards yourself. So if you're like, moving through your life, oh, I'm anxious, I'm scared, I'm worried, then you're giving yourself that cocktail of thoughts, which the body then produces the peptides that tells the rest of the body, like, we're stressed, like, oh no, this is so bad, we're stressed. But it's like, this is happening and I'm going to move forward, I'm going to take care of myself. And I can't control the outside world, but it's like, what do you do with the inside? What do you do with your inner core, your inner resonance, your inner life force energy, so you can actually show up to your life in the way that feels good? So there's so many different ways that we can tune into the body. And like I mentioned earlier, it's like, if you're noticing anxious patterns, right? Like, you know what that feels like, right? It feels like you could just like pop out of your skin. You feel like your heart rate is always going. You feel like your breath is only going like this. So again, it's like, what's the opposite? And that's the medicine. And then I just like to talk about like depression. Sorry, I'm gonna change my posture. Depressive qualities too. Like, there's a different energetic blueprint and understanding of something like depression. And even the language around it is the idea of, like, the word itself, it's a depression. It's like there's a surface and then it got depressed in. That's like, you see, you're in a valley, you see the mountains and the hills, and you could say, oh, look at that depression over there. It's like a pressing in. And so what's really fascinating about this word and the way we talk about it, there's a human design reader that I love, and she says, I was doing depression instead of I am depressed, like defining ourselves by our set of circumstances. So it's like, how do we think about the language that we use around something? And so if we think about depression as a pressing in, you can think about like your own life force energy, your physical body, but also like your energetic body that we can't always see. And a depression, to me, and the way it was explained by Kundalini teachers, it's literally a pressing in from the outside world. And so like your inner resilience is not that it's not tough, but it's just not fortified. So it's like we have to work very hard to fortify our inner life force energy, so that when life comes pressing in on us, because it always will, it's guaranteed, we have the resiliency and the ability to press up against it because we're strong. And so that strength, we can do different exercises. Like, if you're tuning into your body, it's the morning, you're like, yeah, I'm feeling a little low. I can tell. I'm being kind of like Eeyore and sad. And, it's okay to be sad sometimes too, but it's like we can change a script. And I feel, in my experience, the biggest cure for depression is strength training, is movement, is showing yourself that you're strong, right? Because if you're being depressed upon by life, by circumstances, I'm not saying like, we can all play a card, right? We can say, I'm a victim because this happened. And it's not to excuse other people. But if we change the narrative and say, I'm powerful, I'm strong, then we're like pushing back against the energy, right? We're saying like, I am strong. And like, let me show you. So it's like, it gets to be fun. It gets to be your own energy Tetris. And again, it's tuning in with the body. Like, where am I at? Like, I'm someone who swims in both camps. I have a Gemini moon, Cancer rising, so I can get super watery. Pisces North Node. And I'm also Aries Sun. So I feel like the antidote has always been movement. And again, it's knowing which movement. If you're feeling anxious, you might not want to go for a run, right? Like, it might be too much for you. But if you calm the nervous system, bring in that harmony, then you're like, wow, I love running. Like, this is so, so fun. So it's our own awareness practice. And again, like, moving the body is foundational. Doing things for the body is foundational, and just being really discerning with how you spend your energy and your awareness. But I encourage you, I challenge you, I support you in just creating pattern interrupts throughout your day. Ask your body, how am I feeling? Like, what's going to be of the best service to me? Is it journaling? Is it just having an awareness like, oh wow, I'm anxious, or I'm having depressive qualities right now, right? I'm having anxious qualities. I'm not anxious. It's just the qualities. So I feel like this is empowering. Like, once I learned this, it changed the whole script. And right now I'm in a little bit of both, to be honest. So it's like I've been interrupting my day with the hypnosis, the morning check-in, the nighttime routine, which I'm still getting terribly distracted by my phone, but I'm working towards getting past that. And then I'm also in the depressive state a little bit too, just because life, right? Like, and so what does that tell me? Like, it tells me more check-ins, right? More check-ins with the body, more check-ins with the mind, just to really see where I'm at and what's the medicine that I need. Can I give it to myself? Can I ask someone else for support? Can I use energy, money to take care of myself, to have somebody give something for me, right? Like a massage or a foot massage, or, whatever it is out there that's good for you, that you think will make you feel good and that's within your means. Is there someone that can support you, right? Like, you have tools. We live in like an incredible virtual world where there's infinite people and possibilities that can support you. They can be local, which is awesome too, but they can also be across the state, across the globe. But there's so many helpers out there. So I just want to encourage you to continue stepping into your body and listening to its divine whispers, and yeah, seeing it all as sacred. I think that's what I want to share today, and I look forward to sharing some more of these. Hope you continue to tune in, and please check out any of my other offerings that you will see in the description. So thank you so much. Bye.